Lish, I am so excited. We have these beautiful beef tenderloins, not cleaned obviously. We're gonna continue to break this down even more. Lish is gonna be actually doing a roast today and I'm gonna be doing fillets. And again, it's knowing where your beef comes from farm to butcher to the kitchen.
First of all, we need to clean this bad boy up because as sexy as it is like this, we need to make it look a little bit better. Let's handle our loins. And I'm talking about the ones on the board. Get to know your meat, and it's gonna tell you where to cut. So you can actually slide your fingers underneath this excess fat here and start to pull that away. So you can use your knife to kind of loosen that up, but really it's gonna kind of pull off on its own.
This is just fat. You see how that's pulling away? Look how beautiful that is.
It's like it's been wearing a coat and you're just gonna kind of take it off.
Exposing it. This is the chain right here. You can sort of run your fingers down. I'm gonna get it loose enough. Pretty much can just yank it off.
Now this chain is completely usable. You can clean it up from the excess fat
Or wear it like this.
exactly like
Look,
Lady
let me
Gaga.
see. Oh, beautiful. You know, try to utilize every part of the tenderloin. People think it's scraps, but you can use it for stir-fry beef stroganoff. You can freeze it for later. You can make stock with it.
It's very flavorful. It just has collagen in it, so you either have to cook it long or short. That's the gist of the chain. So let's talk about this piece of meat that we have in front of us here. This is what sits up against the hip bone. The butt is closest to the butt to make sense, and then it kind of hangs along here and tapers down. These guys up here are called the eyes, and I'm just gonna clean them up a little bit. You're actually gonna remove yours.
I'm removing mine just to show you what it looks like. This could be frozen, roasted, seared, use it for later.
It makes a really nice roast, actually, just like that.
It really does. Good for 2 people.
And I've taken this as far as I want to go, so let's flip this bad boy over. And we're gonna address the other side, which has a little bit of sinew. So this is the part that is connecting that meat to the bone. Want to remove some of that sinew, well, all of the sinew, and then it also has all this fat. For the roast, I like to leave a little bit on because it adds flavor, first of all, and it kind of gives you something to base with.
Because I'm cooking my portioned meat differently, I'm actually gonna be searing them and quick cooking them in the oven, so I actually want to remove all of the fat.
So let's talk about this silver skin. As you can see here, it's actually silver.
It's kind of bluish silver too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's really tough and very unpalatable, so you want to cut that out. It'll actually make your meat shrink up.
You definitely want a sharp knife for this, so you're really gonna get under the skin. I try to get as much as possible, so you're making that clean sweep, and you're gonna go back, and that comes right off.
All right, so there we have our silver skin completely removed. As we said before, I'm creating a roast, and Monica's doing fillets.
I'm doing fillets.
So we're both using the center cut. So I'm just gonna make a cut right here in the most even, thickest part of the tenderloin. And that's gonna give us a nice even roast. It's gonna be perfect.
I'm actually gonna take the center cut, the same cut that she has, and actually portion it down to 2 medallions. And then we're left with these 2 beautiful pieces of meat, which is what you're pretty much familiar with at the grocery store. And you might be sitting there asking, why are we doing this? Why are we breaking this down? Again, we love meat. We love to cut it. We love to break it down. And I think it's important to sort of stay connected with what you're doing, what you're putting into your body, know where your beef comes from, know where your food comes from. And I think at the end of the day, when you go to sit down and eat, it just tastes that much better.
It does. So I've got my roast here. I'm gonna take it over to the stove, get it seasoned and seared off.
And I'm actually gonna hold off on cooking my filet mignon because it's a smaller cut and it doesn't need that much time. But I am gonna start something that I'm very excited about, my yogurt schmear.
Who doesn't love a good schmear, huh? First things first, we wanna get our pan nice and hot, so that's preheating. Now we wanna really dry it off. That's gonna ensure that we get that nice brown crust that's so eye-appealing and adds so much flavor to a roast. Then we're gonna season it with a nice heavy hand of kosher salt. Don't be afraid of this. It's really meant to just bring out the flavor in the meat. And then some nice coarse ground black pepper. Give it the love, pat it, send it on its way. Hot pan, hot oil.
There you go.
Which you can see it dancing. That's beautiful. And then pan sear that bad boy right there.
You know, I'm not cooking my fillets yet. I have this Egyptian spice mix, which consists of toasted hazelnuts and pistachios, which I already have in the blender. And I'm gonna toast up some of my spices. I have a little bit of coriander. I love coriander. You can see these beautiful ridges on it. Love it. And in about 30 seconds, it's gonna start smelling really nice in here, fragrant. Give it a toss, it's gonna toast. It's the natural oils from the spices are gonna come out, and I mean, I smell it already. Oh, it smells so good. And it'll tell you when it's burning.
Yeah.
You'll smell it.
You'll smell it.
Over there, I'm gonna dump these in. You can actually use a mortar and pestle if you want to get fancy, but I have my little food processor here, it does the same thing. Here we go. so nutty, so fragrant. Look at that. You can go finer, but I think this is good. It's a perfect texture for my crust. I'm actually gonna set this aside because I don't really need it right now. She's just salting hers, browning it, which you're getting nice color.
I know, this bad boy's ready to flip here, so look at that, huh? Look at that color on there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you're looking for.
That's what you're looking
nice, crusty bits. That's the good bits.
I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my yogurt schmear. It's super simple. I love Greek yogurt, nice and tangy. I'm literally just adding a half a juice of lemon and some salt. A little bit of salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper for some color, a little bit of crunch. Give this a stir. How hard was that? This is a little sauce I'm gonna serve with my fillets that are gonna be crusted with my duca. Give it a little taste. Yeah, I'm using my finger. Oof. Now that is good. I'm ready to go. I just need to sear my steaks. How are you looking?
Looking good. Now that's a sexy piece of meat, actually.
Beautiful.
Again, ground crusty bits on meat, good thing.
Yeah.
So this bad boy's gonna go into the oven, about 375 degrees.
I'm actually gonna season my duca with a little bit of salt. You should always just season every
as
step
you
of the
go.
way. When we get back, oh,
Sides.
we've got our sides.
We gotta do the sides.
We've got a raw and cooked version salad. You guys are gonna love it.